Thank you for tuning into the Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Marrocco. Peter is the director of the 12th Division of the ACIO, Advanced or Alien Contact Intelligence Organization. Jessica is a galactic liaison and interdimensional seer. Together, they will discuss the most current updates from the ACIO, Council of Five, and other extraterrestrial sources. Make sure to post your questions and comments below. Disclosures, insider intel that keeps you updated with planetary changes.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Disclosures. I'm here with Peter the Insider, and we're going to talk about the Observer Redux gameplay. And because this is something that Peter felt is very important right now in our reality, so we're going to start off by welcoming in Peter first, and then we'll proceed into the information.
Okay, so thank you very much, Jessica, for giving me another opportunity to be on your channel. I just want to make it correct. The full name of this, let's say, extension of original game Observer, what was released in 2017, is Observer System Redux. Yeah. Because technically, once you will download and play this, you will have full experience of original game. But there are certain, let's say, additional stuff, additional parts, and I think that those parts are the, let's say, game changers. What are making this game special in first place, and so actual in last few weeks. And we need to, because technically, of course, people will hear this show in the far future. So we need to say that now we've got May 15th, 2021, in order to make it correct and precise.
Well, we've been wanting to do this show for a couple of weeks now, or for a week or so, but we've not been doing shows for a couple of weeks. There's been a lot of things going on, so I apologize that we haven't been able to communicate with everyone sooner. And part of it is this, Peter, you suggested that the what's going on from this game, even though the game's old, the actual influence of this game is coming forward, and it was really necessary. I was going to do current events, but Peter, you said that you felt that this is something that people need to be aware of right now, and it is having an impact on our reality, very much so. So the more we're aware of it, the more we can, set our intentions, protections, and also move things into the direction that we want them to. So we could start off by going into I wanted to find just an overview. This is Observer, and has some of the technical information here.
Yes, this is original Observer game. As I said, it was August 2017. This is like release date of original Observer game. Yes, that's true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here is Rutger Hauer, who is a Dutch actor, and he was in the movie Blade Runner. And I brought some information in about Blade Runner, as well.
And this is definitely not coincidence. Don't say me that. It's
All
not
right.
coincidence.
So tell us why they chose him then. That is interesting that you said that.
Yes, technically it's kind
This
of,
is Blade Runner.
Yes, it's technically kind of, let's say, it's not, how can we say it? Not coincidence, because everything is mutually connected, and it's, we are, how can we say it? Like, we are living in very important times, and we are experiencing, how can we say it? Our events, current events, are key for our future. Yeah. And maybe people will be frustrated. What the heck are you talking about? Hey, you, Peter Insider, this is not new. I'm talking about system Redux as some sort of extension for Observer. But fact is that those strange occurrences start to appear. um, Strange occurrences, strange events, what led me to conclusion. Okay, this is not definitely out of ordinary. We need to talk about that publicly, and those stuff start to happened in first week of March this year, once again, 2021, and that was pretty much 1 year, approximately 1 year after uh, we can say CVD. Can we use abbreviation? Once CVD made an outbreak out of Asia, right?
Yeah.
To another parts of the world. And if someone will say me that it's coincidence, no, I don't buy this. It's not coincidence. And technically, you will say what is game about or not, because technically,
yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and say, because I made a certain.
Well, I think the question is why they chose Rutger Hauer for this, because you said it's simple. He's a part of this. In the character that he plays is I had the name here.
You mean Daniel Lazarski?
Daniel Lazarski. Yeah,
he
plays Daniel
We can
Lazarski.
do it on wiki, on official Observer wiki. You can go on official Observer wiki, I think.
Okay.
Maybe not. Am I mistaken? Don't ask me.
I know you have to look for the characters here. And it looks like they have the incidences location. There it is.
Yes, Daniel Lazarski. Yes. And just by the way, and fact is, like it or not, fact is that this, I mean, Krakow, written Krakow, but in Polish language it should be like Kraków. They are, Polish people are pronouncing it Kraków. Of course, Kraków, it's a real city. But not only that, those coordinates, those streets, I mean the names, it's all of those stuff. It's real. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And they are not even trying to hide the things. I mean, whoever they are doing, those kind of what? How can we call it? Uh, we are calling it what? Uh,
People
soft
that are
disclosures. Soft disclosures.
okay.
I don't
Yes,
know
so
if it is.
the video game's soft disclosure. So maybe I should just read the whole thing through, and then we could pick apart some of the pieces and then go into that. So The Observer is a psychological horror video
Because
game.
give me,
Peter, let me just
sorry,
read through, and then we can
sorry.
bring up other parts of it. The Observer is a psychological horror video game played from a first-person perspective. The player controls Daniel Lazarski, so everyone plays the role of Rutger Hauer here, the detective of the Observer's police unit. He can hack people's brain implants with a device known as the Dream Eater for interrogation purposes. Equipped with augmented vision, split into electromagnetic vision, which scans for electronic devices, and biovision, which scans for biological evidence, he is able to analyze and highlight certain objects in his environment. Objects can be interacted with and examined, while dialogue trees are used for speaking with non-player characters. Nanophage cards, patient records, radio-controlled cars, and roses serve as collectibles. A mini-game called With Fire and Sword, Spiders is accessing through computer terminals, which can also read documents. So The Observer is set in 2084 Krakow, Poland, after the nanophage, a digital plague that costs the lives of thousands, resulting in war and rampant drug use. After Chiron, a mega corporation, took control of Poland and manifested the Fifth Polish Republic. A police unit known as Observers was put in control of the denizens with license to hack their minds. Drug and hologram addicts were made Class C and cast off to live in tenement buildings. One morning, Observer Detective Daniel Lazarski receives a call from an estranged son. This is his son, whose caller ID is traced to the tenement building. Locating Adam's apartment, Daniel discovers a body missing its head. He scans the compass implant and sees the missing called from HN. Checking the tenant log, he learns the initials belongs to Helena Nowak, who lives in the apartment 104. At this point, a lockdown has been triggered in apartment 104. Daniel finds a moribund man and hacks his brain for clues. Given a glimpse of the tattoo parlor outside, he heads to the courtyard. Helena is found dead inside the parlor. Hacking her brain reveals she was working for Adam, smuggling data out of Chiron. Daniel goes looking for Jack Camus. Is it Camus or Carnus?
Yep.
The owner of the tattoo parlor in apartment 2010. He finds Jack murdered and follows a trail for the killer's blood to the attic, where he is ambushed and knocked unconscious. When he regains consciousness, he finds the killer dead and hacks the remains. Daniel continues from there into the sewers, arriving at the killer's hideout. Adam's severed head lies underneath a cover on a table. Distraught, Daniel is met with his son's voice mentioning a place called Sanctuary. He finds his way deeper underground, ending up at a sanctuary's gate. Inside Sanctuary, Daniel meets Adam in a virtual world and learns that Adam's consciousness was transferred into a digital realm, hoping it was out of Chiron's reach. However, Adam claims Chiron deployed a virus to break down his defenses. Daniel is urged to manually override the signal that caused the lockdown. Releasing Adam from the building's private network in the adjoining building, Adam reveals he killed the original Adam for sending the virus after him and triggered the lockdown to lead Daniel to Sanctuary. Adam asks that he be hosted on Daniel's observer mind to save what is left of his son. if Daniel accepts. Adam takes full control over him. He refuses. Adam transfers Daniel's consciousness into the maintenance drone and steals his body. Daniel manages to steal the body of the drone's owner and uses it to attack Adam, but it is shot dead by police as the lockdown is finally lifted. So, Peter, tell me what this is. This is one of the sites.
Yes, this is one of the sites. Technically, it's official. This is a official site of the game, and this what we can see is actual footage from the gameplay, and that's the reason for many people can be disturbing and all kind of that stuff. For people they've got the epilepsy, they can make seizures. For people they are suffering epileptic, or maybe people can have nausea. But this is it, because those crazy things, and even as you can see, like a text, and it is having distortion and all kind of that stuff. But this is what is leaking to our reality, and it is serious. We've got serious problems.
So essentially these are cyborg. This is a cyborg reality. Is that correct?
Yes, you are right.
Or is it completely AI? Just there's no consciousness, there's no soul at all, or?
Good question, because in the very intro, very few first minutes, it is not gameplay itself. It's just, like introduction. The voice of Daniel's voice. I mean, the main character. He's saying this, and yes, it is like all of augmented souls. So yes, you are right. It's kind of, you believe, or I believe, or whoever will be playing this game, that okay, I'm normal, it's not a big deal, I'm human, with some sort of arguments, and then holy crap, you will realize it, or I will realize it once I will playing it, like crap, everything is about AI. And yes, we can see it, the parts, like
yeah.
yes, and this is it. It's like crap. It's simulation. It's it's fake. It's like it's fraud. It's like crap. And this is it. This is it. What this video game is showing. And why we are talking about it, and why we need to talk about it, because it is not some sort of random computer video game. No, there are many video games like this. I don't want to say like literally like this, but I don't know, sci-fi video games or another stuff, or maybe horror video games or movies or whatever. No.
Yeah, but it's a combination of all of that, though, really.
Yes, if you can see it. It's, for example, it's some sort of Matrix. It's some sort of, like, I don't know, Matrix-ish. Those kind of, if someone will see the playthrough, the walkthrough, those kind of stuff, I mean, how can I say it? Like cubes or something like that, they will appear and disappear or something like that. It's kind of very like Matrix-ish, Cyberpunk 2077-ish. It's mixed, but it is about it. Because this kind of very, how can I say, wicked as crooked as reality, suddenly out of nowhere, it starts to, how can I say, to bleed through and to leak. And as I said, it was like in the start of the March this year. So let's say once we are making the recording of this show 2.5 months ago, and I was like, what in the world is that? What is this about? And then once this wasn't fading out, I was so hopeful, like, hey, just please, just be such a some sort of, let's say, glitch in the matrix, if we want to call it that way. And no, it wasn't fading out. No, it's vice versa. It is fading in and making another and distortions and cracking with cracks within realities, and with another crack, it is getting worse and even more powerful. And it's like, what in the world is that? What the heck is going on?
So this is 2084, that just
Yes.
similar to Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes.
This is bleeding into, how is it the future is bleeding into our current time? What has happened that created this anomaly?
This is how can I say, this is a problem because it's 7 years. They are 7 years of, how can we say it, gap. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I mean, 2077 and 2084. Yes. What is, and that's the stuff I don't want to say it is, but it can be considered as 1/3 of the cycle, because normal time traveling cycle, it's 20 years. Fourth, so that means like forward to the future, or backwards, in other words, say to the past. Okay, but it's, let's say, once we are talking 7, like 3 times, it will be 21. But once it is not full 7 years, it can be full 20 years. Do you know what I mean? That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. And this is the question. What is symbolic between it? Or, I don't know, like, and how can I say that, like, with it? Because look at that, if you can see those kind of, how can I say, movements of sorry, of how the text is moving, and all kind of those lines and all kind of that stuff, it is absolutely same situation of malfunctions of arguments as we was able to see in Cyberpunk. Absolutely.
So you're saying that things are breaking down, so instead of the 20-year gap, there's less because of the way that things are breaking down.
Give me a second. Normally, 20 years plus or minus, doesn't matter, is maximum of one normal step. But once we will not say full 7 years, but slightly less than 7 years, it is 1/3 of this gap. So that means if they will not dare to use full 20 years, but only slightly less than 7 years, I can assume only, right? That means that at that time, everything was totally screwed. Everything will be totally screwed, but now it was screwed because technically somehow it ended. I mean, that means their reality ended up here in 2021. 2021. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
The ACIO doesn't know how that happened?
Oh, this particular leak, bleach-root, we have no goddamn clue what the heck happened. Absolutely. Nope.
Well, a lot has happened in Poland, and a lot of these games have come
Yes.
out of Poland, including the Medium, The Witcher.
Witcher 3, just by the way, Medium is very good game, but given the fact how good it is, and how many prices for that, how good is this game, only very, let's say, tiny portion of gamers are talking about it. Maybe it's because of genre, I don't know, maybe. But fact that this, and of course Witcher 3, but we need to say Witcher 3, okay? We need to be precise. It's one of the most popular and worldwide, known game. Yes,
and my point was that what is going on in Poland, other than I can think of World War II, where there was a lot of trauma there. What is going on in Poland that is bringing this stuff forward?
I will say you something. In Baltic Sea, in shores of Baltic Sea, yeah, there is, technically you can just walk on the beach, and you will be crazy how big amount of raw amber of all the like wide scale of colors you will have raw amber, because in normal cases amber has which kind of color, like
it's kind of a orange yellow,
honey yellow. Yes. Mm-hmm. But no, not in this case. Technically, yes, it is not only in shores, Polish shore of Baltic Sea, but technically in northern part of Poland, but especially on the shore, on the beaches, yeah, and close. I don't know, like, what is it, like 7, 8, maybe 10 miles away. That means like 11, 13, maybe 15 kilometers away. Not more than that, away from the shore, from the coast. Sorry, my bad, from the coast. And you will be like, what the heck is that? It's like, it's everywhere. And you will be maybe you will go to this kind of question will go to your head, and it's normal. Okay, and what do you want to say with this, Peter? Very easy answer to this question. Amber as a stone is very strong medium, what can attract, I don't know, bleach roots, or people can have opened their heads to see something, to have, how can I say that, like inspiration for, do you know what I mean, for any kind of inventions, or maybe being great artists. I don't know, like, painters making music. I don't know, like, not even classic, but modern musics, all kind of that stuff. So that's the reason. If you want to have solid answer to this question.
So it somehow attracts the quantum, the matrix. It has some kind of electromagnetic, or what does it have that is opens up?
I don't want to say quantum, because once you will get this direction, we will talk about AI, and this is definitely not AI-ish matter. Definitely not. No. I am talking. Sorry, go ahead.
Is it like the foundations of our existence, kind of like the way, carbon is for humans, and well, it connects us to the earth, and
Yes, exactly,
like
exactly. It is
minerals and
like exactly this is it. What you are saying. Technically, like Ember can make some sort of let's say portals, and more it can make more easy way to make a bleed throughs or leaks between realities and time and space context of existence. Yes, you are right, and that's the reason why so many, let's say, wonderful and interesting not only games, but I don't know, for example, uh, people, they were able to, for example, to have radiation experiments. Marie Curie Skłodowska, for example, she's Polish too. I mean, she was, sorry for that. Many people, they are very, talented. Sorry, they were because they are dead, of course, but they still are. Many others are still living. Yes, yes, that's true. That's true.
so. All right, so maybe we should get back to the story a bit. So this is kind of it's an Daniel Lazarski is an investigative reporter played by Rutger Hauer,
Yeah.
who's a Dutch actor, and he is in a situation where he's investigating not just any death, but the death of his son Adam. But then his son transforms into another form of AI, so he duplicates himself, and then becomes this major conflict, and it's so you have this like father-son thing that's very heartbreaking, and he's trying to sort everything out. Meanwhile, everyone's able to hack into each other's brain and know
Yeah.
what's going on, which makes it very complex, and also the levels of paranoia that is distrust. And then the actual simulation doesn't look like a real world. I mean, you definitely have that sense. All of this is going on
This
at
is
the
this
same
is
time.
this is crazy. I watched. To be perfectly honest, I don't dare to make a playthrough myself, but I watch one of the best channels for playthroughs. They, of course, let's how can we say, like, commentary less. They don't talk. And I was like, what in the world is that? That was one hell of creep. I was like, what is that? That was crazy. Me for real. That was crazy. But I mean, the graphics and everything, it was, and there was some, let's say, how can we say it, paradoxes. Like, for example, they were talking, technically, the whole story was set it up in 2K 2084, but for example, monitors for computers, they designed, and of course they did it for purpose, not just because of some random way. Sorry for that, random reason. The monitors for computers, they looked like from 80s. Let's say not only 80s, but let's say break the edge of 1970s and 1980s. And technically, kind of, let's say, it was kind of like, okay, 2084, so maybe yes, those monitors will fit, but not 2084, but 184. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of weird.
Well, I have a question that I also see another parallel here where they do this major lockdown, but it's not because everyone's infected, but they don't know that. They think that this is some kind of hacking or something that happened, which
Yes.
is really strange because we have hacking now going on everywhere, like in the pipelines and so forth. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of hacking going on, and it seems somewhat unchecked, or people are not managing these things very well. Those in leadership, obviously, but we don't know if that's part of the plan or their plan.
Do you know
Anyhow,
rather not rather we will not talk about that because it can bring too much heat. Okay.
yeah. So
let's
anyhow,
say let's say I've got certain information, but I rather will not talk about that because it can bring too much heat.
well, that's kind of how I'm saying it. It's kind
Yes.
of people understand
Yes.
what I'm saying without saying it.
Yes.
And but yeah, I mean, we know that is part of the plan. But anyhow, the whole thing with they actually do a lockdown, but it's not for that any reason other than it's because of this atom. And so symbolically, Adam, what is like the first man,
Yes.
symbolically, not in this case, but he's Daniel's son in this case. And but the system actually goes into a lockdown until, because this corporation called Chiron had a conflict with Adam.
Yes, that's true. That's
and
true.
and Helena, right? Is it Helena?
Yeah,
Helena
Novak. Helena
For
Novak.
Helena
Yes,
Novak, who ends up dying because of this, and she tries to help uh, get into the system of Chiron to probably be free, because Chiron runs everything there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chiron. Yes, you are right. Chiron.
And so Chiron essentially puts everything into a lockdown, and then has it out with Adam, who then Adam creates an AI version of himself, and the AI version is stronger than the other version, the real version of him.
Yes, technically, and that's the stuff. What, to be perfectly honest, this is the. I don't want to say this is, but I am sure that this should be the most powerful message from this game. That, hey, people, be very careful, be super careful what you are doing, or what you are messing with. And or this is this very good English saying, the English phrase, be careful what you wish. Yes, because technically once you, let's say, release the gin from Pandora's box, a big mistake. Because
you mean like you're talking about Adam, or you're talking about Chiron in this?
Give me a second. I'm talking about everything what possibly can get into AI version, because
Yes,
all the people in the world believe how AI is, let's say, it's our future, how perfect it is, but no, they don't realize that AI, what they created, whoever created it, it's way smarter than its creationer. It's like, what the heck? Are you so blindfolded by that? Do you know what I mean? It's I don't know. What should I think about that?
Yeah.
Crap. I don't know what should I think about this. No.
Well, I was going to bring on this for people that say, well, the name Chiron sounds familiar. Chiron is from Greek mythology, and he is essentially this man-horse combination. He's a hybrid. So, and you see him, he was the one that trained Achilles, and then they have some images of him with some satyrs, which are, goat man kind of more hybrids.
Yes, but I mean, what they are, those satyrs, what they are?
It's a centaur.
No, I know what you are saying, but I mean, what are their role? I don't know.
What is their role? I think that because they look different from humans, there's kind of a a problem between humans and these hybrids, and they go back to ancient Greece, they go back to Atlantis, and
Okay.
they're throughout time. So for them to be in the future, I would not be surprised.
Okay. Okay. So
That's where I was headed.
either we are talking satyrs, we are talking about Chiron. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that
So technically, they are frustrated because they were not accepted by people. You mean something like that?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
definitely. And so
Okay.
they don't necessarily have humanity in their best of interest.
Okay. So technically, you mean like they are appeared? How can I say it? They were appearing. They are maybe appearing, and technically they are trying different timelines or maybe different times, and they desperately believe that someone in certain time period of time will accept them as they look like and all kind of that stuff. You mean something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I still see them. I see them around certain people. I see them around, those that are in certain types of, there's a certain mindset that attracts
Oh.
satyrs and Chiron. Chiron's very aggressive from my experience, and I've interacted with him in other lifetimes. So the whole idea is what you see is that if this is the same one, then he has humans completely controlled through AI. So he
You mean
doesn't.
Chiron? You mean Chiron,
Chiron,
right?
yeah. So if he
Okay.
really didn't want to deal with humans anymore, but the other thing about these are like considered gods. Like
Okay.
the half man, half bull, Minotaur, the centaur, which is the half man, half horse. They're
Yeah, I know. I
considered
know that.
gods throughout our history, right? So they were worshipped, and they were given sacrifices and all that kind of thing. They love to be worshipped, but they don't like it when humans don't listen to them. So
So technically, once they are, how can I say it, overseen by people, they can get very angry, right?
yeah, and if after a period of time, maybe in the future, they say, you know what, we're just going to control everyone through AI so that they obey us. And
Okay.
so we see leadership now. We see, they look human or whatever. Who's to say it isn't these same entities from our past, our history, or through now? I mean, they used to walk around. They walked around the earth
Do you
at
know
one
what?
time.
I will be absolutely not surprised.
Yeah.
Definitely not. It makes this what you said just right now makes complete sense. And just by the way, we freshly get that Chiron is one of the, and this is crazy. How the heck is possible that Mobius is involved with everyone? He is one of the best and largest Mobius contractor for souls. What the heck? But look at that.
All right, I'm going to tell you something else, Peter, that I've
Give me a
seen.
second, please. Give me a second. During those first few minutes, it is not a gameplay. It's only, let's say, text, and the voice actor is reading the text. And in this text is augmented souls. It is literally said augmented souls. And I was like, what in the world is that? Because we've that was the reason why I was I don't want to say forcing, but why I insist to make Observer System Redux special show as fast as possible, because this is one of the main reasons, because Mobius is selling them souls. I mean, not souls, but those tiny copies
Soul
of
essences, yeah.
souls. Yes, soul essences, and they are creating their own hive mind. What in the world is that? It's crazy.
And this is like Wall Rider, like you were talking about how they were selling aspects of my soul And
Yes.
then those aspects of me that were probably like Adam become stronger, right? And
Yes,
that's the
that's.
same issue.
I don't want to say it is true, but let's say it. Let's formulate it that it can be. This can be the case. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I want to tell you, Peter, and this is just from my experience. So I have seen Paul Serene turn into Chiron before.
Oh crap. Oh crap.
So and this is big. I've been telling people for years when they'd say, "Oh, we like Chiron. He's part of the zodiac." And I said, "You need to be
Oh
careful
crap.
with Chiron." And they all, they don't listen to me. This is my belief system or whatever. And I'm like, "All right, well, you're playing with fire." He really
Oh
he has a thing about humans. He doesn't like them because, you know, whatever the history is, he's not out looking out for us in any way.
oh
So,
crap.
yeah.
I can say only this. Oh crap.
I've literally, like, I'd see Paul Serene, and then all of a sudden he'd move out of the way, and there's Chiron, and he'd have arrows or something in his hand facing toward me and just challenging me. It's not an energy that will negotiate.
Of course not.
Yeah, he's very like brutal, like an animal, in a way. He's human enough that he's intelligent and can reason, but very manipulative. But he doesn't have to manipulate too much. He's very bold in what he says, and he's highly aggressive. Like, think of like a bull, coming at you.
Oh crap.
Yeah, it can be very violent.
Phew.
So this is what we're dealing.
Not
So
good.
this is bleeding through, but yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. It's not. So technically this is it. Even once we are talking, let's say, basic stuff in the game, like C class citizens, B class citizens, what the heck is that about? Because this is it what we can what is game basically about. Like, they are making some sort of castes in like in India. Do you know what I mean? Like C-class citizens, they are the poorest one, and everything is it's crap for them.
Yeah,
Holy, like what the heck? It's nonsense. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
those are the ones in the tenement building, right?
yes, you are right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, I didn't really see anything that looked very interesting, as far as like you could see the different in class, because it all looks like it's C class to me. Everything kind of looks run down.
But when
I
or
don't know
where? Sorry for that.
when I was reviewing, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm forgetting some parts.
No, this is it. C class. That means like everything is bad. Bad. I mean, for poor people, because rich people, it was the temple, and this like inner part, this kind of server room or whatever it was much. How can I say that? Much luxurious, much more modern, or something like that. This is it. What I'm trying to say. Yeah.
I also wanted to point out there was another movie that this reminded me of here. This scene right here.
Yeah.
And the people have the televisions on their heads. And I watched this movie called Videodrome. Did I get it? And at some point, they put I don't know if it's gonna come up, but he literally puts this like this television reality thing on the top of his head.
Yes, we can see it. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. He puts his head right through the TV, but there's also, in order for them to get into his mind, He puts this thing on top. Look at
Oh
that.
crap. Oh crap.
Yeah. I mean, it's a crazy movie, but it's
But it's not
reminds me.
coincidence. Nope.
Right. That's what I thought. It's
And
the people merge together with television, and just think about the huge influence TV has on our population right now. I remember, listening to other people, like seeing in the future how everyone's pretty much directed what to do through television. I mean, that movie Videodrome actually talks about how people start hallucinating from the television.
and look at that. It was 1980 what? 1983, something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
1983.
1983. And just by the way, sorry for that, but if we are talking about year that this is set it, the whole story is set it in 2084. If you will get 1 century less, it's 1984, and it was this crazy novel. Do you know what I mean? 1984.
But
Do you know what?
that was about the like what I would call the dark net. They were putting out, it was snuff films, but the guy, James Woods' character there,
Yeah.
he actually is he sees this and thinks it's because he's into like selling porn or like promoting different things like this in the dark net, and so he starts getting into it. And when he watches this channel, it turns out it was a government experiment, and he's actually watching the movie and then actually getting into some very strange hallucinations, which is something that I think is happening to people.
You mean right now? Or?
Right now, yes.
Yes.
I mean, I've had people even say they watched our show and they said something like showed up in their house, or they saw something come out of the screen. Yeah.
Come on, second, are you serious?
That was I don't know, a year or two back.
What?
Someone said that, and it's not necessarily our show, but because otherwise a lot of people would say it. But I think that whatever he was experiencing or whatever he was looking at was probably coming through in different ways. And
what in the world?
I don't like to ignore anything like that because I think it's important. But I think that these things are happening in our reality.
Yes, because there are too many, let's say, people are bombarded by some subliminal, influences and messages from all the ways, through the radio, through the TV, through the internet, even believe it or not, even to the newspapers. It's crazy, or magazines. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah. Even magazines. I think that there's subliminals or triggers. The way that they put together colors, the way that they're aligning different things.
Yeah.
That or the way that certain sentences are coming together. They can do this, and they've been experimenting.
Of course, believe me.
Right.
Yeah.
With how people are reacting, and you can just see how there's these different responses. Another old movie that I found, and everyone's going to say this is really weird, that I'm finding these old movies that remind me of this game, is a movie called Scanners. And in Scanners, they literally can read other people's minds. And it's kind of like...
How old it is? How old it is? I
think
know.
that is
80s, 1980s?
Yep, 80s again. And science fiction. And what happens is this... They can literally get into each other's minds, and at one point there's some footage where the guy's brain explodes.
What?
It's like crazy. He can create, some kind of environment Here's like an example of it, and I won't
Yeah,
put.
we don't want. Yeah.
So you can see that they're like being tortured, and
What in the world?
they literally kill these people like telepathically.
Yeah, I can see it.
And so you're
Definitely.
seeing like that kind of thing going on in you know, I mean, it's just it's kind of this was, I mean, it's showing 2012, but I think it's older than that.
No, look at that. It's a movie 1981. 1981. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
So
yes.
here again in the 80s, right? But
yes, you
the
are right.
reason why I brought it up is because they talk about going into the people's brains and being able to figure out what's going on into each other's brains. And I think, I don't know, I believe that they have the power to harm someone mentally. And that was also an ability that was given. That was part of a government experiment in the movie called Scanners, where it was a government experiment. They were talking about this in the 1980s, right? Of doing something to giving the pregnant woman a certain type of drug, and then their child becomes a scanner. And there was this one guy goes in to a doctor to investigate what's going on, and a pregnant woman's sitting there. And while he's sitting there and the pregnant woman's there, he starts getting scanned by the infant that's still in utero. It's still in the mother's stomach.
Oh, crap.
So we're talking about high levels of psychic ability. And also, you know, when they say scanner, it's what's a scan? It's someone who's trying to assess, like AI, what's going on
right.
with people. So 1980s, and here it is. Here's the game, and so
1984. And once you can go, you can you know, you will use 100th century. So it's just, by the way, 5 steps. I'm talking like 20 years forwards or backwards. It doesn't matter. Is one normal step in time traveling. Normal, I mean normal, let's say commonly used time travel technology. And once you will use 5 steps, well, is pretty normal. It's not a big deal. Yeah. And this is it, 1984, and it's just, by the way, George Orwell novel, and it's crazy what he was describing, just by the way, in that. George Orwell, yeah, 1984. Yeah.
because he wrote some other ones as well.
1984 it is, yes. This is crazy.
Yep. And there it is.
Yep, we will go to Wikipedia, and we've got it.
Yeah, mass surveillance, totalitarianism, Stalinist Russia, omnipresent government surveillance, thought police, right?
Yep.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
This is it. Look at that. It's not, nothing is coincidence. No, believe me, it's not.
So there was a wave of disclosure that happened in the 80s.
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah. Was the ACIO involved in that, or was it?
Yes, it was times previous. Let's say, you know, like I wasn't in organization yet. And just, by the way, sorry for that, but once we are in the page and all of our listeners can see it, you can point, please, cursor to room 101, please. It is in yes, it is in left part of the screen. And do you know what is, just by the way, 101? it is, let's say, some sort of, how can we call it, slang for, in English, for, how can I say it, being a rookie, or I don't know, like if you are only in beginnings of something, you have no practice, you are still learning the basics. It's 101 curse. Do you know what I mean? 101
Yeah.
learning. Yeah. So nothing is, how can we say it? Nothing is coincidence. Look at that. Symbolic is everywhere. Everywhere. It's,
So these are all like different words. Like double think is a process of indoctrination.
yes.
Expected to simultaneously accept two mutually contradictory beliefs is correct.
Yes.
Thought police.
Think Paul, yeah.
Thought crime.
Yeah.
So this is like the Minority Report, where they're already thinking about a crime.
Something like that, yeah. Minority Report, yeah.
Fictional language of Oceania totalitarian superstate that is the setting of dystopian novel. So it's newspeak. And there's a memory hole. It's a mechanism of deliberate alteration or disappearance of inconvenience or embarrassing documents. So just like they kind of wipe the information.
Yep. And this is my favorite one. Next one is favorite one.
2 + 2 = 5 or -5? No, equals 5.
Yeah. But actually, just by the way, it is not phrase. I mean, it is phrase, but it's not actually that kind of nonsense as many people will believe. Because, for example, we've got basic mathematical operations, yeah? But like plus, minus, divides and all kind of that stuff. But fact is actually that once there are too many mathematical operations, we are using, in the normal levels of mathematics, we are using level also called level 0, right? Mm-hmm. But once there are too much complicated operations, and we need to make this calculation as quick as possible and as effective as possible, of course, and we need to make it right, not to make a mistake. There are another 12 levels of basic formulations, and believe it or not, not so many people know it. I'm just saying, you know.
Well, in this case, it's 2 + 2 = 5. They're pretty much saying it's like a dogma of saying war is peace. We know that war isn't peace.
Yes.
But they're putting things together that are not correct. 2 + 2 = 5. Here again, let's see if they have any other examples of. Well, there's an anti-intellectual slogan. So yeah, something that doesn't quite make sense, but it stands out, and you know that there's a contrary.
Yep.
Or something that doesn't quite add up.
You are right. You are right. Yeah. You are right. Exactly. You are right. Yes. Yes. It's kind of. You know.
Totalitarian. Okay, so that's 2 minutes hate.
Yes, sorry for that. Yeah.
And then there's a telescreen.
Yes.
Okay. So I mean, we could. There's catchphrases. There's different things that can help us understand. But getting back, and I know.
Sorry. I don't want to, because that was my initial thought to make a, let's say, some sort of parallel with this novel. But from my point of view, it wasn't that too much off topic with this.
No.
What we should talk about, or technically what we are talking about, like main topic. What do you think about it? Because from my point of view, it wasn't that too much off topic. Or maybe look at that, sorry, once we are here. Big Brother is watching, or all kind of that stuff. But technically it is like that. Like literally, it's Big Brother is watching. And just by the way, can you go please to the yes, to this site? Yes, this. Yes, this is this. There were always those monitors, like old school monitors from, let's say, first half of 80s.
Yeah.
And it's pretty common that there was one big eye blinking, you know, like, we are watching you. And this is, but technically this is real situation what we are, let's say, how we can call it, encountering right now. We are living it in right now. And how can I say that? It's so obvious that in last few years, I don't want to say 2, 3, let's say 10, 12 years, maybe 13, that fact, this is it, fact that we are watched, observed, technically that's the name of the game, observer, that only people, they don't want to admit it. They don't want to see it. And they don't want to hear it. And of course accept it. They will not say, yes, you are, sadly, but you are right. Am I right?
Yeah, but I think that people would like to know, what can we do about it, because we still have a mass population here that doesn't want some of this. What should we do, Peter?
My best advice or advices is, maybe people will, you know, say, okay, but insider, this is nonsense what you are saying. Don't watch television until it's not really necessary. So for example, like I pretty much don't watch TV until there is not you know, some sort of documentary movie or documentary TV show, yeah. But most time, technically, you can get and you can watch this kind of stuff on the internet. And I am not saying you need to be, quotes in quotes, pirate. No, there are normally you know, how can we call it, proper channels, normal channels. You can see it on internet, and once you are able to make a huge monitor from your big TV, then it is not a big deal. You don't need to, practically in last, as I said, like, I don't know, 10, 12 years, you don't need to watch TV, because once you are not that kind of, let's say, hyped to see the latest movie or latest TV show at that time, at the date of release, and once you can wait for a few days or maybe few weeks, whatever, it's pretty much, you don't need to watch TV. And maybe people will say, insider, but there is, I need to know the news. Okay, but believe me or not, in most cases, even from reliable, I don't want to make advertisement, but from most, let's say, mainstream and reliable and trustworthy, I don't know, they are TVs, normally TVs, or I don't know, like radio stations. On internet version, what is really weird, once you will see I mean, you will play the recording of original, I don't know, like main news. Do you know what I mean? Or maybe podcast, stream, I mean, audio, sorry for that. The level, of course, there will be subliminal stuff. Of course, that's true. But fact is that the level of subliminal, uh, you know, of subliminal, let's say, messages and triggers and all kind of that stuff is dramatically decreased. It's like, let's say, 10 times lower, 10 times, or maybe even like dozen times lower. Let's say, I don't know, 7, 8, maybe 10% from original. Once you will hit the you know, as I like to call it, killer switch. And that's the reason why all of those power buttons on either TVs or radios are red. This is not coincidence. I am calling it killer switch, and you will see it. I mean, the main news, the the evening news, in the main spot, in the main slot, there are it's overwhelming of subliminal triggering stuff and all kind of those things. And it is interesting that once you will play, and not only that, but any kind of movie or TV show or whatever, it is overwhelming. Once you will play it from TV originally, and once you will go play it from internet, of course, those subliminal stuff are there. There is no doubt about it. No questions. No questions asked, period. End of story, right? No questions asked. But as I say, it is much lower. Yeah? And it is just, by the way, not, let's say, the amount is much lower, but it is much, much, much more, sorry, my bad, sorry. This should be edited. Much less harmful. And try to think about it. Okay, but why it is so? And I will say you why. Because once they made the surveys, right, they get the main part of population is not going and searching for pre-recorded streams or whatever. I mean, like, for like, okay, I will see what was in the main news in yesterday or something like that. No, it's like, yes, it can be, but depending on content and all kind of, let's say, another circumstances and conditions and time of year, or maybe like if it is some sort of program, it's running during weekdays, or I don't know, like a weekend. Only between 10 and 15% people are watching the stuff or hearing the stuff, I mean audio podcasts during internet. Sometimes only between like 5 and 7 or 8% of the people. And it's like, it doesn't worth for them to record it and to upload it to the servers.
To put enhanced content into everything that we're watching. It's specific primetime televisions, maybe Netflix and some of those type of programs that people are hooked on. They're hooked on them for a reason, and then there's an agenda that is coming out of it.
Look at that. If something like if they know that 80 or 90% of their audience is looking at it, I don't know, in certain times and all kind of that stuff, it is it. That is it. And they don't take care about 10 or 15 or whatever percent of people. No, this is exactly, they need to be as much effective as they can. But sorry for that, I was talking too much.
No, this is important. That's why we're doing this, is to have solutions, not just to bring in the fear and the worry regarding the content, but in order to recognize that there's a problem and then find a way to get around it, or use our intentions to change some of those things around us.
Yes. So once again, if you don't need, definitely don't see the live stuff. I mean, I don't want to say live, but because technically even the main news in the on the TV are not, I don't want to say not live, but all those reportages are pre-made. But don't see the live stream what is live, because that's what they are, let's say, counting with.
Like sports.
Yes,
things
exactly.
like that.
Yes. Or most of those widely mass popular TV shows. There are such crazy amounts and such aggressive subliminal triggers. Holy crap!
You mean like a day show, like the Daily Show or the Today Show or something like that, where there's like the Voice, The View, where they're talking live and kind of manipulating the public opinions.
But not only that, even for example, that there is some sort of, and we are not, or maybe we doesn't necessarily need to talk about, I don't know, either, let's say, criming. I mean, I don't know, it was like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 CSI variants show. I mean, I think that they stopped to make those. It can be even cooking show. It's crazy.
Yeah, just anything during the day. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So those people that are sitting at home, which a lot of people were locked up, right? So they were sitting at home and they were just getting filled with all of this data.
So okay, if you, I don't want to say no, don't do anything. Of course not. But please try to avoid to watch live stuff in the TV, and to hear live, let's say, live shows in the radio. Rather than that, sit in front of computer and hear it or see it from the archive. It's much better. Of course, as I said, of course, there are subliminal triggering stuff too, but it is extremely less harmful for you. Believe me. Because for them, they are counting, then approximately with this, then approximately 80 or 90% of their publicum, their audience, they are seeing that live, and this is it what they are focusing at. Okay?
Right.
So right. I was just trying to say that technically, how can I say it? Like, yes, we are in deep trouble. We have big problems, but there is solution, and this solution is, at least from my point of view, it's quite easy.
Right.
This is all. This is, let's say, main message what I intended to say in this part of show. Okay, that was it.
Yeah, I think that is very helpful, and I think that is really great advice. I've kind of strayed away from a lot of that stuff naturally. It never felt right to me. I stopped watching daytime television, and I felt better. I felt less pulled in unnaturally in different directions. I feel like I have more control.
But give me a second. Daytime television, I don't want to say you are not right. You are definitely right that the daytime television is daytime television, if we want to call it that way. But we've got specific, this is specific, let's say, it's its own chapter for itself. Main slot, main TV news slot. So technically, in some countries, they start at 6 p.m. That means that means 18 hours for Europe. For people in Europe, I mean, I am saying it for in European time. Let's say, how can I say it? Time format. In another countries, let's say 6:30 p.m. or maybe in most countries it's either 7 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. and then it is the prime time for main, let's say, okay, this is either TV show or movie. It's like, let's say, set of different TV shows or maybe one longer movie. And prime time, I mean the evening prime time, it's between 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. And this time, let's say from 7. Sorry, this need to be edited. Sorry for that, Rolf. Now I am talking about prime time, and this is very specific prime time, like main prime time for either sets of a few different parts of variety of different TV shows or one longer movie, and it's between 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. Yeah, so that means 20 hours or 20 hours and 30 minutes for people in Europe. And this part, let's say it is starting at 7 p.m. and it ends, I don't know, let's say at 10
9 maybe, or 9, maybe 2-hour show, or
no, I'm talking it is starting with 7 p.m. with the main news, yeah, with main evening news, and it is durating with TV shows, within TV shows, or maybe within movie, and it is ending what, like 10 p.m. or maybe 10:30 p.m. And during those like 2.5, maybe even 3 hours, I don't know, it's wide, they can use wide variation. This is the worst time, believe me, worst time you can see. It's there are the hardest and worst attacks to your, I mean subliminal attacks to your mind, to your brain, to your psychic. It's the worst time to see the TV. It's like, oh crap, this is definitely not okay. Nope.
That's very important, and I agree with you on that, Peter. I definitely agree with you, and I have talked to some people that even sleep with the TV on.
Oh,
which is
crap.
Really bad.
What?
Really
what?
bad. Yeah.
Sleep TV on?
Yeah.
What in the world? This is, oh crap. This is the worst case scenario. I mean, oh no. Oh no. Do you know what? This is the worst of the worstest stuff. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
shocked, to
and
be
I have
perfectly
people
honest.
that, have the TV running because they feel like they want to feel like someone's in their house, keeping them company. And so they want to hear, noise in the background or whatever. And I still think that that's a problem as well for those
Give
people.
me a second. So they are not seeing, I mean, watching TV, but
Off and
despite
on.
of it,
Yeah.
despite of it, they have it turned on.
Yes.
Oh
Trust all
crap!
day. All day.
Oh crap!
Yeah.
I mean, I know that, for example, once you go into bar or whatever, I know, but I mean, I know this is the case and pretty common case, but oh crap!
Yeah.
Oh crap!
I know. I know. With a lot of people, this is why we're having trouble just having people awaken to some of the things that are happening around us because they're so locked into this that their reality has become the next TV show. When's that my favorite show coming on? And that's more
Oh,
of their reality than what's going on in the world.
I mean, technically, once someone is has turned the radio on, and technically, you know, once they are playing, once they've got their favorite TV station, for example, like someone is into folk or into rock or into, I don't know, like rap or R&B, it's not a big deal. I know, of course it is a big deal if you want to call it that way, but let's say subliminal audio stuff only, it's much less harmful than, do you know what I'm trying to say? Once you see something, crap, but having TV always turned on, it's bad.
Yeah.
This is bad.
So
But
yeah,
even radio always turned on. It's not okay. It's not okay.
hmm
Mm-mm.
that makes sense.
But TV, holy crap.
What about gaming, Peter? To what degree is it a problem for gaming?
That's do you know what gaming? It's total different. It's total different. It's, let's say, chapter within chapters, because no one knows what can trigger him or her as a player during the playthrough, because random people, literally random people all around the world can be triggered,
Mm-hmm.
and they can do horrible things, and they will have no goddamn clue about that. It's horrible, and I'm saying, I don't know, once they will destroy things, okay, screw it. Of course, it's, they need to buy new stuff, but once it's thing only, screw it. They are things, but they can beat people. They can once they are only shouting and something like that at people, it is literally only shouting, but they can beat people to death, and they can do such a cruel stuff to another people and to random people. Sometimes not random, but sometimes random people. It's that cruel that it is not outspeakable in this show. And I saw so many that kind of things, and I'm a soldier, and that I can stand so many things. And sometimes I was like, what in the world? Like, this is next level BS. I was like, what the heck is that? And then they said me, he or she was triggered. And I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
That was like that.
Yeah,
And
that's the problems we're dealing with.
yeah, And there are many people, they are, how can I say it, like they've got the video, YouTube channels, or many people are saying YouTube. No, not. For gamers, it's their main of community, their main, how can I say that, the core of their community is on Twitch. Yeah. And so many people are literally living on Twitch. And I mean not living, because they are playing, streaming the gameplays, live streaming the gameplays. And the problem is that, and many people will blame me for this, and they will strongly dislike me for this, but try to take this at that you, once you are player and you are getting money from it, yeah, because of views and all kind of that stuff, and you are under influence. Once we are talking only about alcohol only, you know, maybe drugs. Once you will kill yourself while driving. So technically, whilst you will trigger yourself, screw it. But you can trigger so many people, they are looking at you while you are live streaming. You know, this is crazy. Holy crap.
So certain people can have an influence on others while they're gaming.
Yes, of course, but this is it. They are not doing it willingly, because they don't know how many of, not thousands, tens or maybe hundreds of thousands people watching them, those huge, like big one. Do you know what I mean? Like big players on Twitch, if we want to call it that way. How many of them can be triggered? They don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows. And they don't, how can I say it? They don't get, they don't, and from my point of view, I don't want to say they don't get, but they don't even realize the level of responsibility. No, they don't.
No, because a lot of them are young and they're just getting enthusiastic about the game, and
yes,
but
you are right.
It's not their intention. I think it's something hooks into them and wants to use them.
Okay, let's be more precise. Misuse them.
Misuse them, right? You know what I'm talking about, is whether it's an entity or AI. And if someone's very hooked into AI, then it bleeds through everything that they're doing.
Yes.
And yeah, that becomes a problem. I just wanted to point out over here that this thing looks like CERN to me. And this.
Yes, you are right. You are right, just by the way.
And we still never found out about Rutger Hauer and why he is featured in this movie. I know what he did in Blade Runner. He was essentially a cyborg.
But this is it. That's the reason, because technically he has, he as an observer has this kind of, how can I say it, very strange device in his right
left eye.
Give me a second. Yes, left eye, it's fine, but I mean in right hand, technically on his outer part of his wrist, and technically he just gets the certain, like some sort of cable with very weird end in the cable, and he puts this kind of stuff to the people and to the people's heads, and it ended somehow. It ended. This should be edited. So he put this kind of cable with very weird connection stuff into people's into chip with what is inside the people's heads, and he became this. He started to this what it is like synchronization process. It's crazy. And just by the way, that was a very good picture you have, like observer and medium in one picture.
Yeah,
Maybe lose it or not. I don't know.
I know. I have been jumping around a bit.
No, it's fine. Everything is
And
completely fine. Not a big deal.
yeah, I think
And
I
now
had
we
it over
lose
here.
it. We lose it somehow.
It
No,
was right
yeah,
there.
this is it. And look at that. It's pretty much Marianne in, in another. What is this? In another what?
Reality or no?
Yes, in what? In this, I don't want to say dream world, but in another world she can see. I don't know. Am I right?
Yeah. So we'll see what that
What do you think? Is it like that?
medium and observer getting physical releases, so that they're the video games coming out at the same time.
Yeah. And don't try to say me that this is coincidence. Don't try to say me that this
So you're
is.
saying that I have a connection to Rutger Hauer?
Yeah.
In what way?
You know, you know what? You know, some sort of soul aspect or so.
Oh, he has the soul aspect of me as well?
You
Oh,
know,
jeez.
don't mind me.
That's not good,
Ask,
Peter.
try to ask Mobius for solving the problem, not me. I am totally innocent in this situation. What?
Wow. All right,
What?
I guess I got more work to do. So this keeps pulling me into this stuff that I don't want to be pulled
Of
into.
course, of course, it's you. You are completely unwilling in this situation. Yeah, it is bad.
There's also something about it was created by Anshar Studios, is that correct? Anshar?
Yep.
So there was
What? I don't
it's
know.
it's Anshar is like that vampire species. And I thought it was kind of interesting because they say, see where it says it, and they call it the blooper team, but I thought about the bluebirds because the Anshars and the blue avians. I don't know if that's a coincidence or to me that just kind of stood out, if it's a stretch or if there's a connection.
Isn't this crazy?
Yeah,
And
this
be
is
and be honest with me. Isn't everything of this crazy?
yep. So here it is to see it's Anshar Studios. So the Anshar, I think, was it so I don't want to say any names. But anyhow, that the
No,
people have
I
talked
don't
about the
think
Anshar.
it is good idea to say to speak the
Yeah.
names loudly because it can create too much heat. As I said, too much heat.
I always thought the blue avians were AI. I always thought that was a connection.
That's the problem. Blue Avians. How can I say it? AI copied, of course, unwillingly, copied a certain aspects of blue avians, and now it is goddamn complicated to differ. Okay, those are, or maybe he or she is blue avian, and now okay, is this AI or is this blue avian? And you are in deep trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't know which one but there was also a Japanese group that was of these blue humanoid birds type of thing. And
Yep.
yeah, I can't remember the name right now. But
Yeah, but we know, both of us, we know what we are talking
yeah,
about.
well,
Yeah.
maybe that's another thing that I could bring in, just kind of an overview for people. So anyhow, Peter, is there any last thoughts? I think you did an excellent job explaining how the AI is coming in, and we didn't really go deeply into anything else that's going into Poland, but well, we did. We
Maybe
talked to the Amber.
this is for example, this maybe can be like you know, the whole show, the special show for, like, you know, like the Poland for Amber and all kind of that stuff, because Amber, you know, was how can we say it, like the conditions, how Amber was created, you know, how it was made. Uh, Technically, it's some sort of, how can we say it, like
Is it from a tree or is the sap
yes,
from a
yes,
tree?
like resin,
Resin. Yeah.
from resin, yes, from resin, and that's the stuff, like in resin. How can I say it? Everything from from death, half alive, or life can be captured. And this is like a very good friend of mine. She describes it. She describes how Amber was, and I was like, okay, what do you mean by that? And some small parts of stones, for example, or maybe parts of dead trees, but maybe some parts of trees or another plants, they were alive once the you know, those specific parts of amber was you know, created, but maybe not only dead but alive, I don't know, insects can be found in
Right.
amber. And
Yeah.
that's the reason, you know. And especially fact that in amber from Poland, as I said, is not only this kind of, let's say, yellow honey or light orange-ish color, but you can have all of the kind of wide variety of colors. You can have white, blue, green, even red, or maybe even like yellow amber. What is kind of, it's crazy. It's you cannot found such amber, I mean wide variety of colors and superior quality anywhere except Poland. Yeah, and this is what makes this northern part of Poland so special. Yeah.
Yeah. And so in the game Observer System Redux, they talk
Yes.
about the trees. The trees were used for some kind of system for like the Hive or AI.
Hive mind, yes, yes. Look
Yes.
at that. Instead of leaves, there were those kind of, let's say, neural core system, yes, and it created hive mind, and not only created it, let's say, maintained hive mind.
Right.
Yes, you are right. You are right. Yes, yes, yes. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
You are right.
that's, and because trees are a conduit for
Give me a second, please. Can we go just a little bit more to the top? Stop, 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 please. And look at Janusz. Look at Janusz. Just go just a little bit more to the bottom. To the bottom. To the bottom. Stop, stop, please. This is janitor named Janus, Janus in English. It is in English it should be pronounced Janus, but the Polish people are pronouncing it Janus, Janusz. Yeah, and look how augmented this poor guy is. It's crazy because he was hardly injured during the war. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
This poor guy, and he's good. He's good. He's not bad.
But they do that with everyone that's in that reality. Everybody
Yes,
is.
yes, but this is it because I talked with him, and he's good guy. He's not bad guy. I
He's the
literally,
one that directs people to places, right? He kind of,
yes, yes,
yeah.
he's janitor. He's janitor. Yes, 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 yes. He's janitor.
So you have
Direct encounter, and not only one, multiple times, and he's good guy. It's crazy.
you've encountered him. You've been into 2084.
And he has hard time to, how can I say it, to speak. No, not only because in English, it's, he has brain damage, and it's kind of complicated to say. So sometimes he wrote, he read, and he write, and it's like, okay, I got, or maybe like he pointed at something and okay, Janus, not a big deal, just show me, and he's doing that. Or for example, I talked with and encountered multiple times with many observers. Of course, not with, technically, it was before Daniel's death, Lazarski death. Yes, Daniel, that means he was because he died in the end of the game. But before he died, I talked multiple times with him too. It was a weird reality. It was like, what in the world? This is so bad.
Wow. So how does
Yeah.
that affect me that he died?
To be perfectly honest, I will be so happy if I will be able to say you, because everything, it's like butterfly effect. Everything is like mutually connected with each other, not only people, but the phenomenons, the things. It's crazy complicated, and I don't know.
Wow.
But what I know, it is negative effect. But if I will say something, I will be shamed, because most probably I will say something what I am not sure of, and that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to fool you, and of course not only you, but all of our listeners. I don't want to fool listeners. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so Peter, do you think that
And
we
just by
covered?
the way, sorry for that. Most of observers, they are not bad. They are not bad, but how can I say them? Like, they are like most of citizens.
Mm-hmm.
How can
Yeah,
we say it?
yeah.
Okay,
They're
I've
like
got
the
it.
average person that
Yes, but
doesn't
give
want
me
to
a
harm
second.
anyone.
Yes, but give me a second. This word, I can't. I wasn't able, and it is not because of English, but even I will use, if I will say this in my own language, my mother tongue, they are some sort of lost, like they don't know what should they do. It
Yeah.
was so weird, so weird.
Sad. That's very sad.
Yes, yes.
Yep. So
Sorry for that I was bumbling, but I think that this should be like the end of our show, to share this experience. Yeah.
yeah, maybe we could talk a little bit more about what your experience was there if you're open to it.
Okay, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe
so
another
if
time.
yes, so this is from my side, from my point of view, this is all for Observer Redux. Sorry, this need to be edited. So from my point of view, from my side, this is all what I need to say, and what I want to say about Observer System Redux special show. And once again, thank you very much, Jessica, for giving me another opportunity to be on your show. And stay tuned for next time.
Okay, and thank you, Peter. Also, thank you to all of our listeners for being here and listening through all of this content. I'm sure this is going to help to stay focused on the highest intention for humanity. and how to avoid the AI as much as possible, because we all want to retain our sovereignty, our ability to think freely, and not end up as some of these citizens do in the future, where they're kind of aimlessly moving around. And we're actually seeing bits of this in our reality today, which is very sad. But we don't give up. We keep on providing information. Let's make the change. So thank you for your support. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.
You have been listening to the Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Marrocco. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Visit www.acio-agency.org and www.readingsbyarael.com. Post your questions and comments below. We look forward to hearing from you. Feel free to support our work. All the links can be found in the description. Thank you.